everyone, and welcome back or welcome to TV Time, a podcast for all of your reality television needs. My name is Edward, and today we are going to be covering Big Brother, pretty much the first week, but specifically episodes like 3 to 5. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm pissed the fuck off because I just spent a whole hour recording a podcast, covering my thoughts. I even reacted to the new HOH Live, and then the file wants to be corrupted. It is taking everything in my soul right now not to break my whole computer and to re-record this. So this might be a shorter podcast because it's like 12 a.m. now. I got to get through this because I've already said all this once. I'm pissed the fuck off that file was corrupted. God forbid it corrupts again after I record this. I will literally throw myself off a roof. So initially I covered like episodes 3 to 5, but I'm just going to get into like the 5th one because y'all have already seen episodes 3 to 4. I'm a little late on this anyway, so this is just me catching up. So we're going to get through this, okay? Excuse my pissed off attitude, but I am mad because I like took off everything. I was ready to go to bed, but the file wants to be corrupted. So here we are. Now, let's get straight into it, okay? We've had a pretty good first week of Big Brother. It's had a lot of fights. I'm going to try to recap as much as I can, but at this point, I already know that y'all know pretty much everything that there is to know. So let's get into it. We'll cover a bit of episode 3. So episode 3, something I do want to talk about is this Tucker versus Lisa fight. This is so unserious. So basically, while Tucker was introducing himself, this is the origin of their hate story. While Tucker was introducing himself, Lisa... So first of all, Tucker says that he is a chef, okay? Now, I think we're using that term a little loosely because Tucker is like supposedly the lead chef of oh my goodness, what is in my eye? Tucker is supposedly the lead chef of a protein bar place. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention. But Tucker has a lot of labels. First of all, you're a model, you're a business sales executive, you're a chef now too. Who knows? Maybe next week he'll be a married mother. I don't know, but I've seen Tucker's cooking on the live feeds. I know y'all have seen that picture of that taco that he made. I wouldn't use the word chef. I would not. I would use a couple of other words, but they wouldn't be chef. But anyways, the point is, he says he's a chef. Lisa decides to stand up in the middle of a speech, interrupt him, and say, actually, we're going to have a little bit of competition because I'm a chef too. Now, first of all, if I was introducing myself and someone had the audacity to do that, you're getting bitch slapped because what are you talking about? I don't care that you're also a chef. Let me finish my sentence. But you know, Tucker's nice about it and whatever. He cannot stand her, but he's nice about it. And then when Lisa stands up to introduce herself, Tucker immediately interrupts her as a joke. It's very funny. That rivalry has been going on ever since. Tucker is happy now because, spoiler alert, now week 2, Lisa is a have-not and Tucker is just smiling ear to ear. Put him in a White Crest commercial, okay? Tucker is elated. Tucker cannot stand Lisa and her glitter shenanigans. You know, Lisa sprinkles her little glitter everywhere. Now, mind you, I'd be mad too. Imagine being a have-not. I saw that clip of Lisa sprinkling glitter on his spaghetti. Imagine being a have-not for a whole week. You don't eat any food. And finally you get to have your first real meal. And here comes this bitch, not asking, just doing it. Just sprinkling glitter on your spaghetti. They would have to get me. They would have to remove me. For real. Alright. Besides from that feud, which is very fucking funny, especially because Lisa's a have-not now, I find that to be so fucking funny. But by the way, who do y'all think is winning this little chef battle off? Because I don't think it's either one of them. I really don't. Because Tucker's cooking is something, and Lisa's cooking, according to the house guest, is shit. So, I don't know. I think we need to find another chef in that house. So we had that. I'm going to skip over the random ass alliances because they led nowhere. That girl's alliance led nowhere. But I will say this. So last time I teased Brooklyn for constantly wearing that orange top, but what I should have teased her for is... Now listen, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Brooklyn is a married mother. Brooklyn is a married mother, and she wants to be the first married mother to win the game. She's only said it a few times, but Brooklyn wants to be the first married mother to win this game because no married mother has won the game as a married mother. So because Brooklyn is a married mother, she wants to be a married mother to be a married mother while in the house, and she is a mother that is married, so she wants to make sure that as a married mother, she married mothers her way onto winning as a married mother. She's a married mother. I don't know if y'all heard me right, but she is a married mother. So she's only said it a few fucking times, but Brooklyn, every 5 seconds, for some reason, she chooses to repeat the fact that she's a married mother. Now, what's funny to me about Brooklyn saying all this is the fact that she's like half Cherokee. Like, girl, you could just say you want to be the first indigenous person to win, and that actually would make sense. But being the first married mother just sounds so like, I don't know, like, I want to be the first mom who is married, who has a bob, with black hair, wearing an orange top, whose name is Brooklyn, and is 30-something years old, and is friends with Aaron. I want to be the first person that has all that to win the game. Girl, just say you want to be the first indigenous winner, or like, I don't know, married mother is just so like random to me. Like, like, I don't know, that's not like a group that I've heard of, like, you know, being stereotyped against on the show before or whatever. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of wild to me. But let her be a married mother, girl. Let her be a married mother. We did also have that bathroom conversation with Angela and Matt. That's been talked to death, okay? Some people are saying Angela sexually harassed him. Please get a life and get help, because, no, Angela clocked his tea and said, you're going to get in a showmance. 24 hours later, he kind of was in one. But we'll get into that, all right? And now, one thing that I do want to point out that was really funny about that conversation is she said, I saw a couple of ladies here that'll want your ass. And when she said that, Mackenzie raised her hand. I don't know if y'all saw this, but Mackenzie raised her hand when she said that. I'm like, girl, you're real for that, honestly. But anyways, we had the new format of the BBAI Arena, which I am all for. I'm super happy for. I think that is a slay. I'm very excited. It makes it more unpredictable. I'm going to like it up until it impacts one of my favorites, okay? I'm going to like it up until then. We also had this moment where Mackenzie had the Tyler Crispin hair. Now, excuse me, y'all. I made this whole setup, as y'all can see. I made this whole different setup if you're watching this on YouTube, where I have a picture side by side to help with my editing. But unfortunately, when my file got corrupted, for some reason, it corrupted all of my picture files too. So I literally only have this picture of the Have Not room. Everything else is black. So I'm pissed off about that too. I had pictures of everything I was talking about, but we're just going to have to do with the audio of it because I can't. So Mackenzie had this moment with her Tyler Crispin hair. It was something. But anyways, we get onto the HOH competition. Angela wins. We know this. More relevant alliances get made. Chemo, Lisa, Matt on the block. Or excuse me, Chemo, Lisa, Kenny on the block. I wrote that wrong. And Lisa was gagged, honey. Lisa went... It's been a while since we've gotten a reaction to a nomination like that. For some reason, Angela just didn't tell her she was going on the block, but Lisa was gagged, okay? And I lived. Now, let's move on to episode 4. Again, we're going through this fast, okay, because I can't. Episode 4 had Angela having a conversation with Lisa where Lisa was not having it, okay? Angela was like, I see you as a friend. And Lisa was like, I don't care about a friend. I need allies. I'm like, oh my God. Like, Lisa, you better pop off. Lisa really did the most and kind of made herself a target for a second, but eventually it shifted off of her. Let me take a sip of my water. Thank you. Matt also didn't hug Angela during that nomination ceremony, and that really pissed Angela off. That combined with the lack of sleep and everything else led Angela to have this big blow up on Matt. Now, we can dive into this in detail. So, Angela, she rehearses this and she's ready to pop off on Matt and these fake alliances, which, by the way, are very real. She just doesn't believe in these alliances that were presented to her by Quinn and Cam and all that, because I just think she doesn't want to look like an idiot and, like, be wrong on TV and, like, look like a dumb player, but you kind of look like a dumb player by not believing in it. But anyways, she comes down the stairs. One frightful morning, okay? It's like 8 a.m. She comes down the stairs. Clapping, okay? Just clapping. And everyone starts clapping along like, hey, like it's a game or something, which is so funny. And then she goes, Matt. Silence. Oh, girl, what'd you do? And then she goes, you must feel real proud of yourself. I mean, really, taking advantage of an older woman. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was gagging. And then they get into a whole fight. She calls him crazy eyes constantly. I'm like, oh, girl, Angela, you better bring old school Big Brother back. And she gets on him for threatening her during a conversation they had in the HOH room where Matt was threatening her and was like, Matt was saying some weird things during that conversation. Basically, he was wording himself very weirdly. He was like, I was almost going to say, like, put me up, let's go, I'll put you up next week, but I didn't. I'm like, okay, Matt, you can't just say that. That's like Matt going like, Angela, I was almost going to say, part of me was like, I should call her a bitch and say that she's an old ass fucking hag and I can't stand her, but I wasn't. I almost thought about calling you a fucking nasty hoe, but I didn't. Matt, what? Like, you can't say that. Like, you basically just said it, girl. So I don't blame Angela at all. It gets to a big fight. Angela's like, MJ, you deserve better, which sends MJ crying. I was living, and at one point, Matt brings up his mother out of nowhere, and he's like, wow, my mom is gonna have a real hard time watching this, and like tries to like guilt trip her, I guess, and it does not fly over well with Angela. Angela's like, I don't give a fuck. You are a brat. Your mother has raised a brat. I'm like, you better work. So eventually Angela does apologize, but it's a mess. Angela's not really sorry, and she makes that clear after Lisa wins the veto. I know I'm skipping over a lot of stuff here, but again, file corrupted. I'm over it, and y'all know what happens anyway. So Lisa does win the veto. Lisa spell transform. She won the spelling bee veto, which I was glad to see back, and she used it on herself, obviously. And Angela put up Matt, and Matt, first of all, two things. First of all, Matt wanted Angela to apologize in front of everyone, and I'm like, girl, are you out of your mind? Like, are you out of your mind? He also called Lisa selfish for using the veto on herself. Girl, are you out of your mind? Or no, I think he called Lisa selfish for not. Or no, he did call Lisa selfish for that, but he also called Lisa out for not picking him during the veto. I'm like, get help. Now, Angela has at this point really pissed Matt off. And that's when we get into the 5th episode, which is the live eviction, this Thursday episode that just happened. First of all, let's talk about Julie Chen's outfit. Now, again, I had the picture pulled up, but let me pull it up on my Instagram now since OBS wants to play games with me. Okay, let's see. Julie Chen Moonves. All right, so this was her outfit. If you can see on YouTube. Work. Honestly, I live for this outfit. It's very cute. It has a little corset moment. It's a little leg situation. I love when Julie shows a little skin with the collarbone. I think it eats. 7.5 for me, Julie. Good job. Now, we get into the live episode. Where are my notes, child? Okay, so we get into the live episode, and there's a lot of useless conversation that doesn't matter, including the barbershop alliance, which falls and crumbles, was literally BS. But we did have a segment with Matt and Mackenzie with this showmance. Now, they really are trying to make the showmance happen. Stop trying to make the showmance happen. It's not going to happen, Gretchen, okay? Mackenzie, as far as I can tell, is not into this man. They are really clipping together sentences of her calling him tall, dark, and handsome and saying that he's a good guy and trying to make it seem like she's into him. I watched that conversation happen live. Oh my goodness. The way Matt was like, listen, we got to talk about like us outside of this house. And Mackenzie's like, yeah, you're a good guy. Like, I'm like, girl. And at one point, oh my goodness, I had to turn the live feeds off after this. Matt was talking to Mackenzie about how Mackenzie has not been in a relationship since college, and she's only 22, and she just graduated last year. And Matt was like, oh, you're a widow baby. I had to throw up because that was disgusting. What are you talking about? Oh my goodness, that was gross. I could not with that. So Matt, you needed to go after that, because I know a lot of people don't want Matt to go because he's entertainment and whatever, and that's fine, and I get that, and Kenny is a bore. But Matt, had he stayed, he would have just continued the showmance thing, and I'm like, I can't watch people go, oh my god, like, I like you, yeah, like, I'm feeling you, like, I can't watch that, I cannot, okay, so, moving on from that, I'm excited to see Mackenzie play her own game now. There was also a fight between Angela and Kenny, where basically, Angela was like, Kenny, I need you to fight in this BBAI arena, and Kenny was like, nah, I don't feel like it. What do you mean you don't feel like it, Kenny? Yeah, I just don't feel like it. Matt is my boy, and I don't want to go against him. Well, Kenny, you're on the block. You kind of have to fight. You came all this way for Matt? Yeah, but Matt is my boy, and honestly, I'm away from my daughter. Like, whatever happens, happens. Kenny, Matt is not your son. Like, Matt is not your son. Like, you auditioned for what, like 7 months? The audition process for the show is grueling. Like, it takes a lot to come on this show, a lot of contracts, a lot of interviews, a lot of everything. You know what you're getting yourself into, and now you want to go home after week 1? Yeah, I don't care. Like, you put me up anyways. Go home, Kenny. Go home. I hope he self-evicts this week. I really hope he does. No offense. Now, after the competition, we pretty much see the AI arena comp, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a cool, equitable, nice competition. Chemo ends up winning, and oh my goodness, let me pull up the picture of Angela. Ugh, I wish I had it on deck, but Angela's reaction when she found out that Chemo won was gaggy, but she screamed. I was cracking the fuck up, and I was there screaming with her. I was very happy Chemo won. Chemo won by answering Quinn correctly. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was playing along, and I thought the answer was T-Core. So when Matt put T-Core, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. But it was a nice, equitable competition. I love to see girls and gays winning all the competitions. I love to see it. That's how you know you've solved your problem of unequitable competitions. Thank you very much. Now, after that, they are supposed to have a minutes campaign, but none of them campaign. The idea is that you bring people into rooms and have like a double eviction kind of feeling. But I guess since it was the first time and they hadn't really felt it through, they just campaigned in the room in front of everyone. They ended up saying a whole lot of nothing. Julie even hinted like, this is the time when I would pull people into rooms, but nobody was pulled into any room. Hopefully in the future, if we have a more unpredictable outcome maybe or something like that, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be like that, but we'll see. Matt makes a speech where basically he's like, I came here to play with morals, with integrity. I'm like, you came to the wrong show to play with morals and integrity, okay? This is not the show to come here to show your character, okay? Goodbye. But good on him. Whatever. I'm sure he will have a fantastic time on God 101. I'm sure he will. And then he says, Angela, I forgive you whether you want me to or not. And Angela is like, literally like, I don't know about that. I never asked for your forgiveness, girl, because Angela does not care. Like, what are you talking about? I forgive you. She does not want to be forgiven. That was so cringe. Anyways, they get to the vote. Not Matt. What's her face? Not America. Mackenzie. Jesus Christ. Mackenzie, Leah, and Lisa all vote to evict Kenny. I guess no one really let Lisa know, and I mean, maybe Leah knew. But Leah, I need you to get away from Mackenzie, okay? No shade, sister. But they voted to evict Kenny. Everyone else voted to evict Matt. And then we had this funny moment where Joseph just didn't get the cue to go back, and Joseph was just standing there for like 10 whole seconds, and then Julie started announcing the vote without him there, which was so gaggy. Matt gets voted out. Mackenzie is in tears, honey. Mackenzie is crying. And at first I think she's faking it because she's literally going like, stop. And I don't see any tears falling out. But then I do see her kind of crying, and I'm like, damn, girl, like, okay. Matt whispers in her ear, like, our story is not over. Yes, it is. I'm so sorry, baby, but I have a feeling that it is. But who am I to say? For Mackenzie's sake, I hope that it's not over because Matt is pretty hot. I will not lie to you. But it's over, girl. All right. So Matt leaves the house. He has his awkward interview with Julie where Julie kind of calls him out on like, well, you did kind of threaten Angela, and he has to like backpedal. And then he has this moment where he tells Julie, like, he's like, Julie, my mom really looks up to you. You're an Asian icon. Like, I love you for that. And instead of her saying like, thank you, or like, I appreciate that, she like re-clarifies. She's like, oh, because like we're both Asian. Yes. And I'm like, okay. And she has this weird face that she's making. I'm like, oh, Julie, you better clock this man. But I'm sure she's going to love him when she finds out that he has a theology degree and like, he will be the first guest on God 101. I'm not too worried about that. Him or Mackenzie, honestly. But moving on, child. So we got through that. Now, notice how it only took me 20 minutes to recap all that. I don't know how it usually takes me an hour, but again, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go through this fast, y'all, because I just can't. I can't repeat myself too many times. And that when that file corrupted, like I had to speak with God for a second. I could not. But anyways, now let's get into what's been going on now. So I am recording this Thursday night. I'll probably upload this Friday. So for those that don't know, Chelsie is our new HOH. When I found that out, I gagged because Chelsie was throwing the competition and she ended up winning. And I'm all here for it. It is going to be a pretty messy week, hopefully. Chelsie is in the best position in the house so far. She has all sides covered, and now she has to show her cards. So I think that is going to be super interesting. Another thing I do have to say about Chelsie. Now, I will say this about Chelsie. I'm going to have to give a formal apology to Chelsie because I feel like I and a lot of other people misjudged her. there was a lot going on in the first week where people called her a Zionist and all this and that. And I fell into it too because I saw Zionist. So I'm like, okay, well, she must be a Zionist. But in actuality, that came from a screenshot of people posting like her visiting Israel and like Jerusalem in 2022, mind you, because it's like the Holy Land. Now, I'm not a Christian, so I don't know what that's about really. I think Jerusalem is like where Jesus like was turned into wine or something. I don't know, child. Don't quote me on that. It's something really important in Christianity, with all due respect. So she visited that place and she posted about it. Now, I don't know how people got Zionist from this. I think people need to spend less time online and maybe open up a dictionary and like, go do something for the cause, because what are you talking about? So that really got me good. So Chelsie, I do have to apologize to you for that. You can have my stand card back. Now, there was also a thing of her following, what's her face? Candace Owens, but Chelsie follows other left-leaning people on Instagram, and she's a Christian. Like, I have no doubt that she's just scrolling on Instagram and following whatever reels, Christian, cringy content maker she sees, and Candace Owens, that's like her specialty. So I doubt that Chelsie is like some right-leaning thing. If anything, she's a Christian. She should stand against war and all this. So I'm going to wait for her to get out of the house to express her political views and whatever. But for now, I do have to say, Chelsie, here you go, baby. Here's my stand card. I am giving it back to you. I am sorry that I fell into the trap of her being a Zionist and whatever. I am interested to see everyone else's thoughts on that, because in my viewpoint, from my perspective, it does not look like she has a Zionist thought expression. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it, and I think that is a big fat stretch. And I think we need to appropriately use labels. Calling Chelsie a Zionist is about as accurate as, calling Matt and MJ genuine. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. So Chelsie is the HOH, which is pretty gaggy. Now, another thing that I do have to talk about is this Tucker and Lisa thing again, because Lisa is now a have-not. And Lisa is parading around and throwing rose water or whatever. She's throwing her moonshine water, which is literally water in a mason jar with glitter. She's like sprinkling it all in the room. She's rubbing oil on the pillows. If I was a have-not and I had people, honestly, even if I wasn't a have-not and I had you putting oil on my pillows without even asking, mind you, she didn't even go, hey, do you want me to like lift the vibes of the room by rubbing oil on the pillows and like putting my fucking rose clit water or whatever on the table and stuff, I would have been like, okay, no, don't do that. But she didn't even ask. She just did it. And I'm like, Lisa, you are asking for trouble. And she is asking for trouble because she's currently Chelsea's target. Chelsie said, I have one person in mind, and it's the person with pink hair. You better read, Chelsie. You better read. For the sake of entertainment, I do hope that Lisa does not go. But, I do kind of hope she ends up on the block and wins the veto again, because I just think that would be super entertaining. But I'm interested to see how this week will play out. I'm interested to see how the whole Mackenzie and Leah situation will play out. I need Leah, run. Leah, leave this Mackenzie situation. Please get in the good graces of other people, because I cannot have her be stuck with Mackenzie. I'm so sorry, but I just can't. But I do kind of live for that duo. I do. I'm hoping that Chelsie will make some fun moves. I'm hoping she does not go for Angela. That would be so boring, and I would not want that at all. So Chelsie, I hope that she has a nice chaotic HOH reign. I do live for all the women winning all the competitions. I love that. It's just been like women and like gay men winning all the competitions, and I love that. See, this is what happens when you have equitable comps, is you have a good start to a season. Okay, that is what happens. So that is pretty much everything that has gone on. Now, I know this is an incredibly short podcast. I'm sorry, y'all, but I've been recording for like 2 hours total now. I just can't. And also, no shade, like, I know nobody wants to hear all this anyways. Now that I'm all caught up, I do hope to release 3 episodes a week, maybe. That's my goal, is to do a podcast episode recapping each episode that has gone out and what's happened on the live feed since then. Now, that's not going to happen, okay? That's not going to happen. Realistically, I'm probably going to upload like 1 to 2 a week. I'll aim for, honestly, even if I upload 1 a week, I think that'll be a miracle. So I'll do my best to keep myself as updated as I can. But that's it. Week 1 in the books. I think that is one of the best first weeks in Big Brother history. That was a really good first week. Super chaotic. So far, I'm rooting for... listen, if I had my 4 stand cards to give out, I'd give them out to Leah, Angela, T-Core, and Chemo, but Chemo needs to pick it up a little bit, and so does T-Core. They need to do a little bit more. But so far, I do love them. And I am hoping that Kenny somehow goes home next. Kenny, just self-evict. I do hope that Kenny goes into that diary room and, exit stage left. Truly, because he's not really bringing anything for me. Now, that is pretty much it. I do see a tweet here that says Chelsie said that she tried to throw the competition, but Leah stayed in it, so she had to win, which is kind of wild. It does seem like Chelsie is very much against Leah, and every single day, Leah leans more and more towards the Mackenzie side of things, and that is not a good side for her to be on. So I am praying for my girl, Leah, and that she makes it out of this, and that she makes good graces with this side that she needs to make good graces with, because Mackenzie, that is a dead end for her. She is going to get herself evicted with that. I do hope she doesn't find herself on the block. That would be super bad. But that is pretty much it. So those are all the important updates up until July 25th, essentially. Now that I'm all caught up, I do hope to bring these a little more often. Granted, I have a total of like 1 listener right now, so I don't think it really matters that this one is too short. But that is pretty much it. RuPaul's Drag Race Global All-Stars is also starting soon, so I do hope to be covering that most likely. Survivor, when that starts in a month and a half, I'll cover that. I was going to cover The Bachelorette, but I'm just a little behind on that, and with Big Brother, it's kind of a lot. If you want me to cover The Bachelorette, let me know, and I maybe will. But that season has kind of been tea. Loki, all the men are fighting, so maybe I do need to cover it. But that is all from me. So thank you for tuning into this little mini half episode, y'all. Thank you so much. When I press stop recording on this, God help me if this shit says it's corrupted. God help me if I can't find the footage of this, okay? I will leave, okay? I will shut down the whole podcast. I truly will. So I'm going to press stop recording. I'm going to pray to Jesus Christ himself that this actually works out. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I will see you hopefully by Sunday. Hopefully I'll have the next episode out by Monday, covering what has happened up until the Sunday episode. So thank you once again. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments and whatever, and make sure if you're watching this or if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give the podcast a review. It definitely helps out. And yeah, let me know who y'all are rooting for. Let me know who y'all want Chelsie to put up. And until next time, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch y'all later.